All right, let's cut across right now to Dr. Shambha Mohamad, National Spokesperson, Congress. We'll also cut across to our other to our other spokespersons, RP Singh, National Spokesperson, BJP, Neerja Chowdhury, senior journalist and columnist. Dr. Mohamad, my first question is, and don't take it otherwise, but many would suggest that one thing that actually unites the Congress and its leaders and actually makes them take to the streets shoulder to shoulder along with the cadre is when there is an attack on the Gandhis. It doesn't quite happen when there is a protest against unemployment or any other protest.
No, I don't agree with you, Preeti. We have protested against unemployment. We have protested against Manipur. We have done always. We've been protesting. And of course, when our leadership, when Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi is falsely accused, we will protest. I have seen them when one says a word against Mr. Modi, they arrest them. We didn't do that from 2004 to 14. We didn't go and bulldoze people's houses. We never put journalists behind bars under UAPA. We never did that. Of course, we will protest because this case is completely false. Let's understand one very important thing. Where is the money trail? We have been asking them, sure, if it's a money laundering case, there should be money trail. There should be proceeds of the crime. Young India is a company which is formed under Companies Act 25, in which you cannot transfer money. The shareholders don't get dividends. You cannot transfer assets. So what are they talking about? And if you recall, nearly 2 years ago, they were called for questioning, Mrs. Gandhi as well as Rahul ji. They went to the ED office. They're ready for all that. They never ran away from these questioning. All of a sudden, then why didn't you file a charge sheet then? All of a sudden, you file a charge sheet when you want to divert attention from what is happening in this country. The most important thing is there is unemployment, the GDP is down, you have this issue with tariffs with America. So this is causing a huge problem. And of course, when you want to divert and various communal issues in the country. So when you want to divert from the major issue, this is what they do. And this time, we will be continuing our protest. I was protesting today. I was detained today. We will continue the protest tomorrow also. And let me tell you, the police people have been, they are not kind to you. They pull you up.
Your time is up. I'll come back to you. Dr. Mohamad, I'll come back to you. Each panelist is getting 2 minutes in this debate. I want to cut across to RP Singh from the Bharatiya Janata Party. RP Singh, the charge is very clear that the Congress, you just heard the spokesperson, that not only is it vendetta politics, because the Congress will fight, the case, the National Herald case, politically and legally. So they are calling it political vendetta. It is a witch hunt. There is no truth in the charges. And all of this is diversionary tactics, nothing else.
Well, thank you, Preeti. I thought you will give her more time because she has to answer a lot of questions. But anyhow, tell me one thing. Who paid money for Young India Private Limited? The boot money was paid by whom? If industrialists in the country, some amount to some 50 lakh rupees. And for what? For possessing assets worth 2,000 crore rupees. Which political party in world has ever donated money to a private entity, and that to a private limited company, and that to some 90 crore rupees, which was later on waived off, which was said, no, you don't need to pay it back also. I've never heard this in the political history of the world. None of the political parties have ever paid money, not to that to any penny to any private limited company. Rather, they take donations. It's happening other way around. Thirdly, there were some 1,057 shareholders in the company of the AGL, Associated General Limited. Was any AGM called for those members or those shareholders, and was consent taken from them? Yes, that we are going to do this and pass on your share to just 4 or 5 people, out of which 2 will get almost 76% of the share, 38% to Madam Sonia Gandhi, 38% to Rahul Gandhi ji, and rest to some other colleagues and nominees of the family. The worst part is that Pramod Tiwari's statement, who says how can you dare to take action against Gandhis? There should be a separate law for Gandhis. There's Pramod Tiwari on record. So that problem with that we are a dynasty, we are a special community, or we are special beings in the world. So no action should be taken against us. And when action is not taken against, they challenge. Action kab lenge? Why don't you come and arrest them? And last but not the least, this case started in 2012 when it was
Okay.
UPI.
Time is up, sir. I'll come back to you. I'll come back to you. You'll get your 2 minutes. I want to go back to Shambha Mohamad. Shambha Mohamad, you want to take, the charges that were laid by RP Singh. You want to respond to that? 2 minutes start now.
Yeah, I hear what RP Singh is saying. I want to ask him very clearly. The charge sheet you have put in, there is no money trail and the proceeds of the crime. Let's understand, when a case goes to Enforcement Directorate, it's about money laundering. There is nothing of that. Now, Young India was formed. There was money. There were a lot of, the Associated Journal did not have enough money. So the Congress party owed them some money, around 90 crore to pay things and everything. It became debt. And what happened is, Young India, let's understand, if we wanted to make a profitable company, then we wouldn't have started a company under Companies Act 25, that is Young India, that's such that it cannot, any shareholder cannot get dividends, they cannot get salary, they cannot transfer assets. So it was that debt was converted into equity and put into this company called Young India. That's what was done. There was nothing else done over here. Everything is transparent, and any money which was given through checks. So it was just to convert the debt into equity, because there was a debt to Young India and nothing, no property. He says there is property of thousands of crores, 2,000 crores, and show it to us. No, show us in the charge sheet all these things. I'm asking him one question again. Where is the money trail? Where is the money trail and the proceeds of the crime? These two things, if you're not able to do, number one. Number two, we would have then started not a company in Company Act, according to Company Act 25. That also we could have just started according to a normal company where it's a profitable company. So that we did not do. And when our leader is falsely accused, we will fight, because my leader, Rahul Gandhi, whether it is Manipur, whether it is Hathras, whether it is GST, he protests and he's always there. So we stand by our leader. Whereas Mr. Modi, if somebody says anything against him, you're putting him there.
Okay. All right. I'm going to give 2 minutes to RP Singh, and then we're going to introduce Ashutosh and Rajat Sethi into this conversation. 2 minutes for you, RP Singh, to respond to the charges of Shambha Mohamad, and I'll bring in our other two guests.
Well, there are ED has filed a charge sheet which categorically said there have been bogus entries being made in the Young India by giving some money to some on account of some advertising, some account of some donation, some account of some salaries. So that's what we are saying. That picked up a company which had 2,000 crore rupees asset, and then the accruals from that assets will be used by who? Who will take the call on that? Obviously, the people who hold the major stake holding that company, that is Rahul Gandhi and Sonia ji. So if they are going to do that, so this is how the money will be used. And also, ultimately, who will have the right over the properties? It's not the Congress party. It's not the the Associate General. It's not the original stakeholders, original shareholder of the company. It's just the dynasty who will have the control on the company, and dynasty will decide how to use properties, where to use properties, and also there is no newspaper being published in those premises now. There's no printing which is happening in those premises now. It's all just a property business now. It's purely a property business now, where you rent out properties, that big parcel of offices and land which you have, the built-in offices, to various people, and then as I said, use that money for whatever objectives you want to use. I am not saying personal or political, but whatever objectives you decide. So it's a clear money trail, and then a charge sheet has been filed on the money trail also, that how the accruals have been misused by the Congress party. But they don't have to get into this. But this is very easy, and then they are not answering. Why would a industrialist lend you 50 lakh rupees in 2008 to start a company? Well, if that was so much, then why didn't Congress pay the Young India also? But if they could pay 90 crore rupees to get to waive off the AGL loans. So why not
All right.
also they pay
Your
to
time
the
is up, RP Singh. Okay, Shambha Mohamad wants to respond, but I want to get in our other two guests. We have Ashutosh as well as Rajat Sethi, who will be joining us in just a short while. Ashutosh, a lot of political posturing in midst of all of this. A question that I began asking Shambha Mohamad right in the beginning. You know, nothing quite unites the Congress more than an attack when it comes down to the Gandhis. You don't see them come together, and I'm sure Shambha Mohamad will have a problem with that, come together on other issues as vehemently and, you know, the way they come together when the Gandhis are attacked. That aside, political vendetta, you know, the Congress claims that. The BJP on the other side is saying due diligence. Look, you know, what the ED is saying.
See, I think, Preeti, the word has moved too much from since 2014. Nobody these days believes if Enforcement Directorate or the CBI or the police income tax is doing anything against the opposition leaders, because the overwhelming number of cases against the opposition leaders have been it's seen from a political prism. But hardly any BJP leader has been booked under the ED or the enforcement or the CBI or anything else. And that's put the entire credibility of Enforcement Directorate, whether it is with Sonia Gandhi or Rahul Gandhi, is into jeopardy. So the fact of the matter is that it is basically the Enforcement Directorate and the government agencies who are suffering from a severe credibility crisis. The point number two, in this matter, if you take the Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi's case, now the issue is what they have done, what they have not done is not an issue. The ED has to prove whether the money has been laundered or not. And if laundered, from where to where? Whether it is through the Hawala transaction or from the foreign country into this country. That has to be proved. Till now, no evidence is shown by the Enforcement Directorate that something like this has happened. The point number three, if the opposition wants to hit street, wants to agitate, it is a democratic right to do it. And the Congress has every right to do it. The fourth point is it just a coincidence or something else? Because in the last 1 week, if you see, the property of National Herald in Mumbai, Delhi and Lucknow, estimated to be something around 661 crore has been attached. Then Robert Vada suddenly out of nowhere has been called by the ED and is being quizzed. And then the Sonia Gandhi and the Rahul Gandhi has been charge sheeted. So all these three things suddenly happening. Is there any link between these two, or there is something bigger politics behind it? I do not know. But suddenly, I personally feel this is not a coincidence. There is certain politics behind it.
Okay, so what is that conspiracy theory? We're going to circle back to you. But Rajat Sethi, you know, there is a point that Ashutosh is making. You know, one just looks at the number of cases that the ED has opened against the opposition vis-a-vis the one it's closed or are in cold storage, where it comes down to those who have joined, the NDA fold. You know, this question is a cliche which has been asked many a times over, but ultimately it does smack of it somewhere that we'll twist the cord, we'll keep the case open and we'll see where it goes.
Well, the bane of India's
there's a problem. Rajat, there's a problem with your output. We're going to try again. Do we have you, Rajat?
Me?
All right, we're going to, I think there's... Rajat, can you hear me? Rajat, are you with us? Okay, there's a problem with your...
Hello.
Okay, we do have you, Rajat. Go ahead. 2 minutes, start now.
Yes. So, see, this has been the bane of our, the legal system, investigation system, that cases tend to drag. It is a matter of fact. And, we can go about, we can spend a lot of time on that, but this is where the state of affairs is. However, from public knowledge of things that are out there in public domain, it does raise ample amount of suspicion on the Gandhis and the Gandhi family per se. And I think when a charge sheet is submitted, that is taking things to a tipping point where the prudence and, public discourse suggests that you need to step out. Step down. Rahul Gandhi here doesn't hold a public office, but he is the LOP. Charge sheet is that trigger point which historically, even Lal Krishna Advani and others, whenever there is a charge sheet and prima facie, there are ample number of dots which connect in a very ugly way, that should be a signal to the politician, be it of any hue and color. They should step down, allow free and fair elections, free and fair investigations to continue, and the court should seize the matter and take it to a logical conclusion. I personally feel that Enforcement Directorate should have done this entire process much more quickly, so that Congress doesn't get a chance to point out that there is some malified intentions of the ED, which in all likelihood doesn't even exist. It's just the slow process of ED. Therefore, ED should have done this. That is my submission. However, I still believe Enforcement Directorate, if it has filed the charge sheet, it is ample ground for them, for public probity sense, they need to step down from whatever offices they are occupying in a political party. Therefore, Rahul Gandhi should immediately resign as the LOP and allow any other Congress leader to come in and take charge of the leader of opposition in the Lok Sabha. This is what I feel.
All right. I just want to also, but Rajat, and I'll circle back to you on this. If we don't really have to go far. There was a ED charge sheet of money laundering filed against Riya Chakravarti. We all know what came down to that. We also live in a world where charge sheets are taken as gospel truths, and maybe they shouldn't been, but taken with a pinch of salt. So to ask somebody to demit office at the basis of a charge sheet, is debatable, and that's what we're debating today, and I'll circle back to you on that. Where it came down, viewers, I just want to give a factoid or a figure there, and I'll bring in Shambha Mohamad into this conversation as well. Just the last, data that we have is that the ED had initiated 121 cases against politicians, where India is concerned, of course, with 115, which is 95%, involving opposition leaders and 6 involving those of the NDA. Just a figure for our viewers to chew on. And I will come back to both RP Singh and Rajat Sethi on this. But Shambha Mohamad, there was, a certain point that RP Singh had, point-by-point rebuttal of what you said, especially when it came down to acquiring the property at a particular sum and of what it was worth.
Okay, I'm just coming to RP Singh. Before that, to Rajat. He says ED has charge sheeted and they must, resign. He must resign. On that, 2 points. One, we never said Ajit Pawar was corrupt. Prime Minister of India, the Chief Minister of Maharashtra, Devendra Fadnavis, there was a charge sheet on him also by the ED. What happened? Why did you close it? I want to know that. Why is it that when Ajit Pawar became an alliance partner of the present dispensation, the Bharatiya Janata Party in Maharashtra, became the Deputy Chief Minister, you closed the case. So in that way, even there are many more Shiv Sena leaders. I can go to Suvendu Adhikari, Himanta Biswa Sarma. So the problem is the minute you join that, the ED's charge sheet just disappears. Number 2, if that is the case, then when Atal Bihari Vajpayee questioned Modi on 2002 riots and said, remember your Raj Dharma, Narendra Modi should have resigned that day. Why didn't he not resign as a Chief Minister of Gujarat? If that is the case, that was questioned by the Prime Minister of India and by a leader of the Bharatiya Janata Party, not from the opposition, about the Raj Dharma in 2002. Now, I want to clear on the 50 lakhs which he spoke about, RP Singh, that was given back in the check itself. Please go and check it out if you do not know. Also, the properties are still owned by Associated Journal and not Young India. So, these stories which you keep going on, and again I'm asking, the charge sheet in a money laundering case, the most important thing is the money trail and the proceeds of the crime. It is not there in the charge sheet. Where are the proceeds of the crime? How do you get the proceeds of the crime when it is a company where the government of India has registered it, all right? Has registered Young India under Companies Act 25. So there is no transfer of money. Nobody is getting salary. There are no dividends. So my question here is, RP Singh, you can say whatever you want. I'm asking you one thing. Show me the money trail.
Okay, 1 second. All right. RP Singh, 1 second, ma'am, I'll come back to this. No point, your fader is going to go down. I'm going to bring in RP Singh into this conversation. RP Singh, there can be a lot of rhetoric, and yes, the BJP has every right to raise it, because if there is a charge sheet, like I said, you can't take it as the gospel truth, but why shouldn't it be investigated? And, and truth will prevail. It did so in a Riya Chakravarti case, where, of course, the ED had filed a case against Riya on the basis of what they felt was a money laundering case, and there was a charge sheet at that.
PT, you are comparing apples with the mangoes.
How, sir?
please, can I'm answering, ma'am. It's my time. Let me complete.
Sure.
And then you can interrupt. Please, I give you all the right to, and I never interrupt in between also. So the reason is that this is a case of where a political party is, the leaders of the political parties are trying to have acquired a company with the intention of the properties which is there in the company. As I said, there are cases of some 18 crore donation, bogus donations, some, and this part of the charge sheet I will appreciate, 38 crore rent, and some 29 crore advertising spent on advertisement. So that's how you manipulate the ownership of the company. That's what is being charged. That, and then this clearly shows this. After all, ED would have gone through the details and would have filed part of it in their charge sheet only. That yes, there are money trails also, but the bigger issue is what I repeat again, that why does Rahul Gandhi and Sonia Gandhi need to take over a company which was already being run by the company which was formed by Nehruji at given time, some with 1,057 shareholders? Was any AGM called of those 1,057 shareholders? And out of that, two very prominent people have also gone on record, Justice Karju and Mr. I'm forgetting his name, one more gentleman who has gone on record and had said that yes, we were never asked to transfer our shares, and we were not even taken into loop to transfer the share. So there's a lot of grey areas. There are a lot of areas which need to be further investigated, and also where the Congress need to answer. And then they have gone to the court to quash the case, not once, 4 times. And court has rejected their pleas to quash the case. Court has only given them relief for personal appearance, and has said that yes, you can be out on bail.
Your time is up. I'll come
off.
back to you. Sir, like I said, it's a charge sheet. These are charges. This is not the gospel truth. And you have every right to raise it and urge that we get to the bottom of this. And if found guilty, then stringent action must be taken. But can we take it as the gospel truth is what my question is, RP Singh. You are very right where you say you're comparing apples to oranges in cases. But I would reckon the sobering messaging is the same. Because if an individual was charge sheeted for money laundering and then later on we found that there was really nothing against her, we need to take this case also with the same amount of pinch of salt. It could be true. They could be charged. But why are we taking it that it's happened? I just want to bring in Ashutosh. I'll come back to you, sir. And I know, and I'll give you 10 seconds extra because I did interject you. So I'll give you that 10 minutes extra when I come to you. Ashutosh, I want to get you back into this conversation. Why such a defense? Let the ED do what it's doing. The whole projection of Rahul Gandhi is, let them come, we are ready for it. Then why so much, of shenanigans and theatrics?
Why not? Why not in politics if they feel that they have been wrongly implicated? They have every right to protest on the street. And what is happening? I just take the case of Hemant Soren's case in what happened. Hemant Soren was put behind the bar, arrested just before the elections. And then he had to resign. The JMM has to choose another chief minister. He was in jail for 5 months. And you know what happened after that? The High Court has categorically said there exist reasons to believe that Soren is not guilty of the PMLA offense he has been accused of. Now the High Court has given a clean chit. He's saying there is no reason to believe that he's guilty. Now, but JMM, Hemant Soren, suffered for good 6-7 months. That's a precious time for any politician. Suppose in between the JMM was split or something that happened. So the issue is, if Enforcement Directorate credibility is at such low point, then what others can do? And it's not only with Hemant Soren, even the Arvind Kejriwal case, even the Manish Sisodiya case, even the Sanjay Singh case. Every time they got bail and almost getting a clean chit on that. So the issue is, if the opposition political parties, if the leaders feel that they have been wrongly implicated for some political reasons, and the leaders who are with the BJP, like Ajit Pawar and others, nothing happens to them. They they suddenly become clean, and ED is not going after them. No charge sheet is filed against them. Then they have every reason to agitate and cast aspersion on the credibility of the government as well as the agency. So I think the whole issue is only because today nobody is willing to believe that ED is honestly pursuing the case. That's
Okay.
that's the unfortunate part of it.
All right. Okay. I want to bring in Rajat Sethi back into this conversation. There was a reason why I didn't name, the political case studies, if one would say. But Rajat, to get back, if, and I'm just going by data, if 121 cases are registered by the ED and 115 are from the opposition, then it only gives credence, to the excuse, which you might want to call it, of a witch hunt and political vendetta. And then to ask somebody to step down at the back of it, is questionable.
There are 2-3 points here, Preeti ji. Just wanted to correct you. First of all, Riya Chakravarti was never charge sheeted by the ED. She was only charge sheeted by the NCB.
There was
the Narcotics
okay,
Control Board. Please check it once again.
Yeah.
ED never charge sheeted. Again, charge sheet is a tipping point. I'm again stressing on this point. Charge sheet means that there is ample amount of evidences which have been collected duly, and it has followed certain set of processes, and then it goes to the necessary courts, and thereafter things happen. Now, another example that Ashutosh ji raised was the case of Jharkhand. Now, it was made to appear as if the verdict has been given by the High Court of Jharkhand. It is what I fail to understand, that why do people keep aside rationality when they come on television debates? Did the High Court give him the bail? Does bail mean that you are guilt-free? I don't understand where is this discussion going on. Here, take one case in point. The simple case in point before us is that these two gentlemen, Rahul Gandhi and Sonia Gandhi, both of them have been charge sheeted by the ED. And this case, whatever facts are there in public domain, there is no observation from the court which is trying to stall the ED process or is trying to preemptively say that there is a witch hunt or there is some kind of a political vendetta. When the courts have not said anything, who are we here in guest rooms trying to, scuttle the process of law and justice? Why can't we have patience? Why can't these leaders step aside and allow the free, trials to happen? You are occupying an important chair, which is the chair of an LOP, which is equal to the rank of cabinet minister in our country. This is the basic probity that you expect, because tomorrow, if you are going to accuse the BJP on similar grounds and ask for resignation, you will not have a face to do that. And this is therefore my appeal to both Rahul Gandhi, not to Sonia Gandhi ji, because she doesn't occupy a public office, but Rahul Gandhi must resign as LOP. Just out of basic questions.
I'm going to give all our guests 2 minutes each to conclude. But Rajat Sethi, you may wish to check, and I'll give you the exact date. June 31st, 2020, the Enforcement Directorate lodged a money laundering case against Riya Chakravarti and her brother.
It's different.
Both
is different. Charge sheet
money
is different.
Sir,
I'm talking about charge sheet.
Okay, there was a case. There was a case against them, not one, multiple cases of money laundering. And I will also, one second, give me, sir, no, 1 second. One second. Rajat Sethi, I'll circle back to you. Allow everybody their 2 minutes. You'll get your 2 minutes in the end. Number one, that. Number two, I don't think you reflected on the number that I gave you. If 121 cases are lodged by the ED, if 115 are only for the opposition and 6 where the BJP or the NDA is concerned, then you already have given enough ammunition for the opposition to raise what you might call the bogey of a witch hunt. I want to go back, give 2 minutes to all our panelists. 2 minutes, Shambha Mohamad, begin now. Make your case.
Now, Rajat Sethi goes on saying about charge sheet. I want to ask him very clearly, the Prime Minister of India, let alone nobody else, the Prime Minister of India said, Ajit Pawar brushed hair. Uske upar ED hair, everything. Then how is that a person who's corrupt? When the Prime Minister says in a public speech, he's right. Why did the Prime Minister of India, make him the Deputy CM of Maharashtra or the Bharatiya Janata Party? Can you answer that? Isn't that shameful when you are accusing a leader of corruption? The sitting Chief Minister of Maharashtra is accusing him of corruption. Then how can you make him the Deputy CM and close the case? There has to be a logic in that also. Number two, Pratap Sarnaik, leader of Shiv Sena, charge sheeted by the ED in May, and by September when he joins becomes part of the BJP, the Shiv Sena Shinde faction, moving from Uddhav Thackeray faction, closed. Can Can you answer that, Rajat Sethi? That is what we are asking. I do not want corruption in this country. Nobody wants corruption in this country. But it has to be fair and square, the ED. The ED only goes after opposition leaders. And it does not go after. That is why we say this is an unfair case. If anybody who has an ED case, when they join the Bharatiya Janata Party or the alliance, the case is closed. And everybody knows that. Why do you close the cases? Why did you make Ajit Pawar? You say, we never said Ajit Pawar is corrupt. You said it. You close. So we know in this case, and did you read the charge sheet? Have you read the charge sheet, Rajat Sethi? I want to ask you. There are no proceeds of crime in that. Where is the money trail? I'm asking again and again. You cannot accuse my leaders of corruption.
Ma'am, your time is up. Your fader is going to go down. I'm going to give... Ma'am, there's no time. There's only 2 minutes. I'm sorry. I want to get in RP Singh into this conversation. RP Singh, I interrupted you in the beginning. You will get 2 minutes, 10 seconds, sir. Make your case.
I just need 10 seconds and give my 2 minutes to Shambha Mohamad so that he has to answer more questions than anyone else today. So our only point is that, Shambha, please, I'm saying so. I'm giving you time. Don't bother. So issue is that you compared Reha Chakrabarti case. By the time you were discussing it, I've Googled it again. ED never charge sheet Reha Chakrabarti. He was
registered
asked,
a case.
Yes, case can be registered, but again, filed or not filed, that's an issue. Case has been registered against many. And then you were talking about the ED's capability. 43 trial has been completed in the ED cases, out of which 40 cases there has been conviction and 3 cases there have been acquittal, which turns out to almost 93% of the success rate of the ED. So when you give a generic figure, there are so many thousand cases and all, when those are not finished, the trials are not finished on those cases. The issue is whether the trial has been finished. The court takes their own time, which we can't help, and you can't dictate courts also. But again, I reiterate that there are bogus entries. Shambha Mohamad, I'll appreciate there are bogus entries into some 1838, 29 code, which are in public domain now. Please Google and search, and that's part of the ED charge sheet. So obviously, why you own this company? Although you know that you can't sell properties, only to manage the fund flow which is coming from those properties, not owning those properties, because you as a new company can't own that property. And also, tell me, Shambha Mohamad, if you open a company or I open a company, which industries will pay us 50 lakh rupees to run a company? That's a questionable thing. Tell me which industries will ever pay that. I end my point here and give the time to Shambha Mohamad.
No, okay, 1 second. Also, sir, nobody was, you said I was questioning. Nobody's questioning the capability of the ED. Absolutely not. What I did, like you gave a piece of data, I gave a piece of data, which is 96% of the cases currently right now are registered more, if you look at the sum number against politicians, against the opposition. And I gave you that exact figure as well. Out of 121, 115 have been filed against the opposition and 6. And at the basis of that is the fodder with which the opposition can claim this is a witch hunt.
Can I answer that?
Sure.
Yeah, please. I mean, why you want to say that all politicians are corrupt? I mean, if there's a breed of corrupt politicians in the country, I mean, we know which party has a breed of corrupt people in the system. I mean, why? I mean, right from Nehru to Indira Gandhi to Rajiv Gandhi to Rahul Gandhi.
So the fact is, I don't think.
Give me a second. And as for Ajit Pawar and other cases, because Shambha Mohamad keep reiterating, I give a challenge, Shambha Mohamad. You hire best of the lawyer in the country. I'll pay. I'm saying on the channel, I'll pay for the best of the lawyer. If you win, my cost. If you lose, pay double.
Okay, all right. That all aside, I didn't quite understand the defense to that. I didn't quite understand the defense to that. I was just giving a figure, RP Singh. That's it, just a figure. And then there is going to be questions at the back of it. And also, I would reckon, in India, no agency is above questioning, no agency at all. And nobody's questioning the credibility there. But I just want to go... Nobody's above questioning, right? I want to go to Ashutosh. 2 minutes, Ashutosh. Your time starts now.
See, Preeti, I was really amused when I was hearing Rajat Sethi when he was giving yarn about the charge sheet is the tipping point and everybody should resign if anybody is charge sheeted. I think he's living in the world of 1996 when the people used to be charge sheeted and used to asked to resign. They used to resign. I'm just citing a very recent case. There was one gentleman whose name was Babu Bhai Bokhiria. Babu Bhai Bokhiria was a water resource minister in Mr. Narendra Modi's cabinet. He was convicted. Listen again. He was convicted into 54 crore theft, mining theft. He did not resign. Convicted for 3 years. Did not resign. Opposition wanted him to resign. He did not resign. Mr. Narendra Modi kept him in his cabinet till he got some bail from some court. He was convicted by the Sessions Court in 2013. So let's not get into this kind of things. Because BJP believes nobody should resign. Rajnath Singh ne kaha tha na, hamari cabinet mein koi istifa nahi deta. And this was the time when the BJP on a daily basis was asking UPA ministers or the leaders to resign. And there are half a dozen ministers, they resigned because BJP wanted them to resign. But look at Mr. Narendra Modi. He did not ask resignation from the Babu Bhai Bokhiria. 50 convicted by the court. So I think it's good to give gyan others, but look within is something else. We are living in an era which is controlled and commanded by Mr. Narendra Modi or Amit Shah, where resignations are not given. That was a pre-2014 politics where anybody accused, charge-sheeted, charges framed, used to resign. Not anymore. And this began from Narendra Modi's own cabinet. So please ask him the questions. You set the parameter. You set the benchmark. Follow that.
Sir, time is up. Sir, time is up. Your fader's down. 2 minutes, Rajat Sethi. Sir, your time begins now. Final submission.
Well, Preeti ji, I'll only say this thing that we as political analysts, when we come on television discussions, we should keep as much as possible our partisans' hat outside and try and come up with propositions which are universal in nature. Be it any party, if a charge sheet has been filed against you, out of basic morals, you should step down from whichever public office from whichever party you are from, you should resign and quit. That should be it any Ajit Pawar, Himanta Biswa Sharma, anybody for that matter. But let me again tell you, Ajit Pawar, no ED case was charge sheet. The case was there. There were a bunch of cases, no charge sheet. And charge sheet, you cannot switch on. It's not a switch. You switch it on, it becomes active. You switch it off, it goes away. When a charge sheet is submitted, it is submitted in the courts. And after that, the courts have to step in and call out the merits of the case. Even in Himanta Biswa Sharma, it has gone all the way up to Guwahati High Court, and Congress spokespersons have been defamation cases against it because they keep bringing up this issue as if this issue is still pending. On Himanta Biswa Sharma, I can categorically tell you there is no pending case against any of the corruption cases, and most of it is being monitored by the Guwahati High Court, and it has gone through proper due processes. Till the time the Supreme Court or whichever High Court doesn't issue clearances to Rahul Gandhi and Sonia Gandhi, they should remain away from public offices out of basic morals. It has reached a tipping point. Charge sheet and not case filing. Again, I repeat, when there is a charge sheet and it becomes the property of the court, this is a serious tipping point, and anybody of any party should step out on his own volition, come out and resign at that very moment, and go back to the public and try and resurrect your politics of whatever is left out of it. I don't care.
All right, okay. I think all four of you have put your points forth. So I'm going to leave it at that. The Congress has decided they are going to protest tomorrow as well. We're going to keep a keen eye on all developments in this case. For now, there is a charge sheet, the first charge sheet that the ED has filed in the National Herald case against Sonia Gandhi, Rahul Gandhi and others. We'll know what comes of it in time to come. Appreciate all of you for joining us.